Good morning. It's another beautiful sunny day here in Kent. Nice and warm today. Isn't it, Emma? It is. Emma's sitting, relaxing in the cockpit, listening to the birdies, aren't you? And I am now about to do some work on our keel bolts. So we mulled this over. We have no real indication that there is a problem with our keel bolts, so there's a considerable part of my mind which says if it ain't broke, don't fix it, don't touch them, don't do anything, and that's kind of tempting. Probably that's what Rossella would do right now, I think, but there's the other part of me that just wonders whether there's any crevice corrosion taking place in there. These bolts, I believe they're the originals. I believe they've been there for 26 years. I don't believe... Hey! I have no evidence that anybody has pulled any of them to have a look and see what they look like. So, to avoid having a doubt in our minds about how safe our keel bolts are, I'm going to pull two of them and inspect them. Aren't I, Emma? So, what do I know? I only know what I've been able to kind of work out. I haven't actually found any information about this boat type and about exactly how the keel is secured. But what I've worked out just by looking is we've got an iron keel. We've got stainless steel keel bolts. Basically, the concern here is that stainless steel, it corrodes very, very, very slowly, almost negligibly. Stainless steel corrodes very, very slowly, but that's in an oxygen-rich environment. If you've got an environment where there's little oxygen, you can end up with bolts that look fine from above, and as they go down, if you imagine that this is the section of bolt, the bolt goes down like that from above, and at this section, usually here, because that's where water would enter the join between the keel and the hull, basically the bolt can go down like that and then be wasted. So I want to see if that's happening here. I hope it's not. The other thing I've been able to work out just by looking is I can see some circular holes here, like marks, indentations on the keel, and inside the boat I can see that they are actually keel bolts. People refer to them as keel bolts even though a lot of the time they're studs with nuts on which then go down into the keel, but in this case they are bolts. So I can see this round indentation. I believe this is going to be filled with epoxy, and I really, really hope that in there's a stainless steel nut of the same grade as the bolt. If the bolts went directly into that iron keel, then over time the keel can corrode, and therefore your bolts can become slack within the keel. And basically this job, it could become a world of hurt. By interfering with this, I could make a lot of work for myself. It could end up being a big job. The worst case scenario, we may have to split the keel from the boat, separate the two. The percentage chance of that happening, I hope, is less than 2%, but it's a risk. The only way to know for sure is to pull the bolt, so I'm about to do that now. Wish me luck. This is a Bavaria 350 boat, and on this boat it's a 24mm socket, and I'm going to use the manual bilge pump handle to extend the lever here.
Sei tolta cappello, Bibi? Non hai messo? Guarda, che ti fa? Qui ti fa il cappellino bello. Chiudiamo qua l'acqua.
There we go. That is absolutely brand new. Just like the day it was put in. So I'm extremely happy about that. Very, very happy indeed. Well, do you know what? I'm going to take a if it isn't broken, don't fix it approach here. I've just seen that bolt. It looks absolutely brand new. And what I'll do is just each year I'll remove one bolt. So over the course of the years I'll make sure that every single one of the bolts is in pristine condition, just like that one. But for now I'm very happy, and we are one big step closer to going in the water. I'm going to refit this one now. There's a bedding compound here which is still soft, so obviously it's a non-setting bedding compound. I'm just going to use a bit of the excess to go onto the threads. And I'm just rebedding this stainless steel plate too. Whatever that is, it's good stuff. I've just put a bead of CT1 sealant around the bolt head there, and that serves two purposes. First of all, just to ensure that there's no water ingress to the bolt from the bilge, and two, that just acts as a marker. I know this bolt has been out and inspected, and as the years progress I can do the same with the other bolts and I'll know which ones have been done. Well, that went very, very well. I'm super happy with that. I can now sleep more soundly knowing that the bolts, or the sample bolt that I looked at, is in such perfect condition. That was really easy as well. It was probably, apart from emptying the bilges, which I would have had to do anyway, it was 45 minutes work, not even that. So very worth the time in my mind. I can't guarantee that if you're doing this on your boat you're going to have a similar experience. Starting to do this could be the start of a big job, but do you want to risk not knowing how your keel bolts are? It's your call.
This is our lunch for today, an invented recipe. It would be lovely to put some parmesan on it, but unfortunately it's not anymore edible as we don't have a fridge on this boat. So we'll eat this pasta in this way.
We'll get a fridge. Well, we're partway through our lunch and we've just heard Emma call us, so evidently she's awake. Let's go and have a look. Hello, Emma. Hiya. Oh, sorry, is that light in your face? Hiya, darling. Hiya. Did you have a nice sleep? Did you have a nice sleep? Did you have any dreams? What were you dreaming about? Rainbows and butterflies? Things like that? Or sailing boats? Aww. You gonna come and join us for dessert then? Oh no, she's got the camera. No!